Hello everyone, my name is Vivek Pandey. In this video, I will be talking about how to implement the wait for an item update action from the Nintex workflow into Power Automate. As we all know, this action holds the execution of your workflow until someone updates the particular column which this action is looking out for. So let's start and see how to implement that. I will be implementing this functionality using one simple scenario. I have a list named employee tax regime details. So HR is collecting the tax regime and other details from the new employee for tax deduction. I will be implementing the wait for an item update action, particularly on a tax regime column. So this actually put your workflow on hold until the employee updates this column. So the scenario is HR will create one item inside this list by selecting the employee name over here, and other details like employee ID, PAN card, and tax regime will be filled up by the employees. So our workflow runs on item creation and sends out one email to an employee, just an intimation to update the details. After that, workflow will hold the execution until the employee updates this tax regime column. So let's start and build your workflow. We are logged in into our Power Automate account and we will create automated cloud flow. We'll name it as employee tax regime workflow. And this workflow will run on an item creation. We'll go and create this workflow. This particular workflow will select the site address. This runs on employee tax regime details. Now we'll initialize one variable. We'll name as is tax regime updated. Okay, we'll initialize it with a false value. So when employee update this tax regime column, then we will set this variable to true. But right now we will be initializing it with a false value. Let's rename this. So for storing the previous value of that column, we'll use one compose action, and inside this will store the tax regime column value. Okay, and this will be the previous value of it. Previous tax regime value. Now we have added one variable as a flag variable, and we have taken the previous value of the tax regime column. Now we'll send out one email to the employee as an intimation to update the details of the tax regime. Yeah, so we'll add send email action. We'll send this email to the employee. Subject to the update. So we'll add a now body. Hi, we'll add the employee name over here, employee display name. So we have added the body. Now our email action is okay. So up till now, when HR will go and create one item inside this list, employee tax regime details list, this will trigger this particular workflow. It will initialize one flag variable with value false. It will store the previous tax regime column value, and this will send out one intimation email to the employees to update the tax details. So we are good up till now. Now we will going to create the main wait for an item update action in the Power Automate. So for that, we'll include a scope just for segregation purpose. We'll add all our wait for an item update actions inside the scope only. So we'll just rename this. Yeah. So to implement this wait for an item update functionality in Power Automate, we'll make use of do until action. Okay, and here we are going to validate this variable which we have created at the top. Okay, so we'll validate this variable to true. If this variable value is equal to true, then come out of this action. So we'll just add a true over here. Yeah. So if tax regime updated variable value is equal to true, then stop the execution and come out of this do until loop. So inside this, we'll add get item action. We'll select the site address, list name. Yeah. So the ID, we are going to get the details of the same item. Okay. Now we'll take a compose action to store the new value, current value basically. Yeah. So inside this, we'll add a tax regime value. Okay. So here, if you can see, we have a two tax regime value, one from the above action and one from this trigger. So we have to take the tax regime value from this get item action only. So here we have a current value, tax regime value, and we have a previous tax regime value. Now we'll validate these two values. We'll add a condition. So we'll add the current tax regime value as well as the previous tax regime value, and we'll see if the value is different or no. Here we have added the current tax regime value, and here we will add the previous tax regime value. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Current tax regime value should not be equal to the previous tax regime value. That means the employee has updated the tax regime column. So if that is the case, then we will set the variable which we have initialized above to value true. So this is the variable is tax regime updated, and we will set this variable to value true. So now we will send out to an email to the employee just confirming them back which tax regime they have selected, whether the old or the new. So we'll send an email to the employee, and we'll add, yeah, current tax regime value. Inside body, hi, employee display name. You have selected tax regime. Thanks, HR team. So we are done with this one. So how it will work is it will validate whether this particular value is equal to true for the first time, but we have by default we have initialized it with a false value. So this will not validate this condition. This will move inside this loop. Here in the get item, it will get the details of that current item on which this particular workflow is running, and we'll get the tax regime value, the latest tax regime value, and will here we will, in this condition we are comparing whether the old tax regime, I mean the previous tax regime value and the current tax regime value is equal or no. If it is not equal, that means the employee has updated the value, and after that if the tax, I mean if that column is updated, then we are setting this variable to true, and here we are sending out one email to the employee just as in confirmation whether which tax regime he has selected, he or she has selected. We need to include one delay action over here because we don't want this get item action to check the list every second. Instead, we'll configure it to check in every 15 minutes. So this will also reduce the unnecessary load on the server. So let's add the delay action. So we'll add a delay of 50 minutes. Let's move this delay action to the top. Yeah. So we have added this delay for 50 minutes. So also in 1 hour, it will check your list 4 times, and in entire 1 day, it will check 96 times. So this count is well under the limits laid down by the Microsoft. Now we need to change the limit for this do until action. If you see the default count and the timeout value is like 60 and PT1H. So the count is 60. That means it will do until loop will run just for 60 iterations, and the timeout value is PT1. Is that means it will not run for more than 1 hour. So we need to change the limit for these two values. So the maximum count for this action is 5,000. If it will not go more than 5,000 counts, so this is the max value, and the max timeout value is P 30 T. That means 30 days. So this is the two important value which we need to update for this action. Okay. Yeah. So let's go and run this workflow. Now we'll go and create one item inside this. So HR will select one employee. Let's take it as Vivek, and it will save. Click on save. The workflow has started running, and the employee should get one email. We'll see the email part now. Here, so the user got this email that update tax regime details. Please update your tax regime by logging into the below link. And this is the link for that item. Please ignore this formatting part for now. We'll go on to the item. Yeah. So our workflow basically looks out for this tax regime column to be updated. So if I don't update this column, then my workflow will continue running for 30 days, and every time and every 15 minutes it will go and check this particular list, and for this particular item, whether this for this column, whether it has been updated or not. So let's go and update this, and we'll look into the workflow, what happens to that. So I've selected the new tax regime, and we'll wait for the workflow to complete. Here we can see our flow ran successfully, and let us see the email. Yeah, we got the email as well. You have selected the new tax regime. Yeah, that's perfect. Hope you like this video. If you find it useful, then don't forget to hit the like button and also share it with your friends. If you have any question or suggestion, then please do comment. We'll meet you in next video. Thank you.